Geometry Chapter 2.1, we're going to do some more about conditionals. A conditional, as we discussed in the last video, is where the hypothesis implies the conclusion. P implies Q. That is going to be your original statement. In a few moments, I'll give you an example that will make that make sense. A converse is a related conditional, and what it does is it swaps the original conditional. It changes and puts the conclusion in the front and the hypothesis in the back. So Q implies P. Your inverse will take the conditional and negate it. It'll be not P implies not Q. And the contrapositive is going to negate the converse. It's going to be not Q implies not P. So the original, the hypothesis and conclusion, the if-then statement, then we swap them for the converse, we negate the original for the inverse, and we swap and negate for the contrapositive. Now, these can get so confusing when the nots, when the negations are involved. So this has always helped me so much. With the truth value, these statements can be true or they may be false. But the conditional and the contrapositive will either both be positive or both be negative. So if you can figure out this one, then sometimes that will help you with the confusing one when the negations involved. And likewise, the converse and the inverse, they're going to be the same thing. They're either both going to be positive or they're both going to be negative. Now keep that in mind as we look at this example. The hypothesis is, P, you are a guitar player. The conclusion is, you are a musician. Now we're going to put the ifs and thens in them and make a conditional. The conditional, remember, is P implies Q. If you are a guitar player, then you are a musician. Now think about that. If you can play the guitar, you are a musician, so that would be true. So we're going to discover the truth value of these problems. The converse means that we're going to take the P and Q and we're going to swap them. We're swapping the order. So we're going to say, if you are a musician, then you are a guitar player. But now this could be false, so we're going to say this one is false because, think about it, I could be a musician and play the piano instead of the guitar. So the converse is false. The inverse is where you take the conditional and you negate them. You not them. Not P implies not Q. So I'm going to take and put the word not in them. If you are not a guitar player, comma, then you are not a musician. Now let's think about that for a second. If I'm not a guitar player, I'm not a musician, that's not going to be true either. And this is where the nots kind of get confusing. But I could be a pianist and still be a musician. So this is another false. And remember what I said, when it gets confusing, know that the converse and inverse will have the same truth value, just like the conditional and the contrapositive will. Now the contrapositive is where we swap and negate. Swap and negate. So it's really taking the converse and negating it. If you are not a musician, comma, then you are not a guitar player. Well, that happens to be true because if I am a guitar player, then I've got to be a musician. So you see the conditional and the contrapositive both true. You see the converse and the inverse both false.